It's block after block after block of emptiness. These blocks 50 years ago were filled with homes. And now literally you can go blocks without seeing a home at all.
Some of that siding has come loose, so there's no telling there could be water damage on the inside.
We had a lot of vacant houses that are beautiful brick houses people walked away from when they were underwater in their mortgage.
These places are just absolute wrecks, and you know, the hulks of the buildings are still there as a reminder of how recently this was a relatively vibrant community, and they're all gone.
You know, when I got here, it was unimaginable. I'm talking about the number of vacant dwellings across this city. This is a city I grew up in, and to come home and see the blight, the vacant homes and dilapidated structures, and it becomes certainly a harvesting location for criminal activity.
There's still a lot of blight in some of those neighborhoods. Crime's still a factor.
It's no secret, these have been places where crimes have occurred, where people who have committed homicide try to conceal the bodies in these locations.
Businesses left 20, 30, 40 years ago, and it's struggled to rebound ever since. Population declines have taken their toll.
I don't think there's another city in the country that had the level of disinvestment that Detroit had, but I think the key is at some point in time, in some point in Detroit's history, there were structures on those lots. We were a population that was more than double than what we are right now.
Blight removal has always been one of the city's priorities. The city receives something called hardest hit funds, which are federal dollars. It's using those to tear down some of the tens of thousands of blighted properties that were tallied in 2014.
You can see a lot of moisture damage, a lot of discoloration on the walls. So it's safe to assume that everything behind this countertop is pretty much shot. At the end of the day, this inspection is about demo or salvage.
The Land Bank Authority has special powers to expedite the moving of publicly owned property. We refer to ourselves as the landlord of last resort. So if a property is tax foreclosed or forfeited to the government, it doesn't sell at auction, we take those structures. We own just over 95,000 structures and lots. All of those were abandoned. That's nearly a quarter of all parcels in the city.
Pipe damage, but nothing sticking out to make it to deem it that unsafe.
We need to know if it is salvageable. So if it can't be saved, it goes into our demolition pipeline. If it can be, we can push it into our sales pipeline. We have a couple of ways that we actually do sales, and we've sold, I think, 13,000 properties so far in the 4 years that we've been doing this. And then the private market starts to pick up in some of the neighborhoods that we've been working in.
Here you got the whole south side of the dwelling, pretty much water damage from the exterior brick to the interior, and it's compromised the whole roof. This would be considered a demo. It's really not safe.
We've been taking down 100 vacant houses a week. We started auctioning them on our own website. Now we auction 4 houses every day, and we've now moved 4,000 families into houses that were vacant 4 years ago. When that happens, brings the whole neighborhood back. When a neighborhood comes back, businesses come in and open up the boarded up storefronts, and that's the trend we're on right now.
The trend is absolutely going in the right direction, and it took decades to get here. We're not going to dig our way out of this overnight, but anybody who's just been here in the past couple of years can tell you that things are moving at an exponential rate. You're riding the bicycle while you're building it. We didn't know how to do this. No one knew how to do this when we got started, and there have been some hiccups and bumps along the way. We have completely revamped the demolition process. Every step is tracked, and the money expires at the end of 2020. We've got to get it spent in time, and moving that quickly, mistakes may have been made, absolutely.
You know, we have enough to take down another $6,000 or $7,000 in federal money. We've also supplemented it with city money, and we're we'll take down 1,000 houses this year with city money. And we'll see if we can't put together a coalition and get the next round of funding.
The stronger the market is, the fewer homes need to be demolished. That's the reality. We're demolishing homes where the renovation cost exceeds the value. What I am hoping is that the stronger some of these neighborhoods get, demolition is a one-off, but there are some neighborhoods in Detroit that are never going to be as densely populated as they used to be.
You can tear down 3 structures, but a new one can become blighted in that period of time. So it's a constantly evolving thing. You're looking at years, if not north of a decade, to do this.
We have half the population we used to have. So I think the message is we need to build the best city that we can build for the population that we have right now, and I think we're well on our way to doing that. But for Detroit, that's an incredibly powerful thing. People who have taken the time and the investment to stay in a neighborhood are seeing their property values rise because of the work that we're doing. And any occupied home, that's more eyes on the street, that's more activity in a neighborhood that's positive, that's families, that's people living in neighborhoods the way anybody else would, and it's eliminating that feeling of abandonment that I think people tend to associate with Detroit.
Hey NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.